Number 7.
The beloved physician in Mess.
Number 8.
Greet the brethren who are in Laodicea and
Memphis.
and the church that is in his house. Now, when this epistle is read among you, see that it is read also in the church of the Laodiceans, and that you likewise read the epistle from Laodicea. And say to Archippus, take heed to the ministry which you have received in the Lord, that you may fulfill it. This salutation by my own hand, Paul. Remember my chains, grace be with you, and that the grace of God the Father.
Okay. It's a very rich epistle, and that's why I said I want to just focus on some of the people serving with St. Paul. This is one of the prison epistles, the epistle of Colossae, which was a very unique city in his service. Even today, when we had a group that went to visit the places of St. Paul, we could see every city except Colossae. Colossae is under a hill. The city is there, but you can't see it. So, but I want to reflect on some of the servants with St. Paul because they were all different. St. Paul, he can enter a place and all the people he has, he can have them serve with him. But each one of them is different, and that's why we want to reflect a little bit on the servants and different type of service. So the first one we mentioned was, we say that in the church we have about 20% of the people serving, and they are doing about 80% of the service. And we have 80% of the people doing the rest of the service, usually. This is normal. So in this one chapter, we start to see some of those 20% of the people that were serving in the city and how they were serving. So St. Paul is announcing to us what is the type of this, of the team. You know that, like I said, they're all different. Sometimes we want everyone to be the same like us. But actually the opposite. God wants the servants to be all different so we can complete each other. Right? When you look in the 12 apostles, St. Peter was serving with who? When he put 2 by 2? He sent Peter with John. Why? Peter is the first, St. John is the youngest. Maybe about 40 years different. Just like sometimes in the Sunday school, we say, yeah, we put the older servant, put the young. There's something for the young, there's something for the older, and they will help each other. Like sometimes the elder, it's hard physically. He said, no, you take it. And then sometimes there's a challenge with the younger servant that you need the elder to give the direction. So we see, like I said, they're coupled together. And let's start with Tychicus. What can you read for us about Tychicus again, number 1? Go back. Yes, verse 7. And our beloved brother,
Faithful minister and fellow servant in the Lord, will tell you all things about it.
Okay, so St. Paul sent Tychicus to Colossae. He was a Gentile. He was a group of, like I said, the 7 servants that went. This is the 3rd journey, the last journey that St. Paul has. And he is like a scout. They sent him in the beginning to prepare the way. Just like St. John the Baptist, I was telling them yesterday. St. John the Baptist, the gospel yesterday was about St. John the Baptist. So he went, his service was short, but he went to make everyone ready for Christ. And I told them yesterday, is like the deacon when after he says, Amin, 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 right? Where does he stand? Yeah, he's facing in front of Abuna to make sure nobody come to attack, because the barbarians used to attack. And after it's safe, he go and stand in back of Abuna. Why? He's protecting. In case someone else had come to attack, and he announced. So when Abuna ready to give communion to the people, he says, "Holy is for the holy." So this deacon go to prepare the way. make sure none of the kids, none of the people, before Abuna put the sanaya, so that it's the same for the gospel. He comes before it's supposed to be the same deacon. He hold the cross. He says, "Stasite metavuvathio." Why? To make sure the people are ready. Abuna is going to come with the gospel. So he's like Saint John the Baptist. He announced the coming of the Lord. And the servant, this type of servant, is the one who prepared. Just like, say, for example, we go to the Sunday school class, or we're going to the competition, or you're going to the retreat, or you're going to the room. So the servant who prepares and makes everything ready, very helpful. And if this servant is not there, like imagine the service without Saint John the Baptist and Christ came, it was going to be a mess. And there are going to be people here. They say, "Who is this? We didn't hear about him." No, he said, "This is the Lamb of God who took." So then the disciples, after, like John and Peter, they said, who are you talking about? He said, "No, this is the Lamb of God." He said, "Where is he?" He said, "Go to him. Go to him. I told you I'm not the Christ. This one is the Christ." So, so every servant, like Saint John the Baptist, is preparing the way for Christ. Tychicus was the one preparing the way for Saint Paul. And he said, "Go ahead to make sure, because when I'm ready, I can't stay that long." Right? So this is the good servant who is preparing everything. There's like when we have any event coming up, any service, even in the next year, you are thinking ahead. Then there's another servant, they react to the, like something's a mess, they panic. The Tychicus is the one who is going to look 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years ahead. He is trustworthy servant, and also in the end of his life in prison, St. Paul, he sent Tychicus again to Ephesus. So he sent him, "Tell me, how is Ephesus? I'm going to pass away. I need to make sure the rest of the churches are good." So he could send him anywhere. That's the good, this type of servant can serve anyone and can serve anyone. Not every servant can serve anyone. But this Tychicus, he is the one, not just to start the service, but also to continue the service. So he would send, for example, St. Timothy, he sent to Colossae to start. In Ephesus, he sent St. Timothy to start. So St. Timothy has a gift, he can start anywhere. Tychicus can complete anywhere. He can go anywhere. Because that's the first one. We'll not spend that much time with all of them. The second one, it's hard name to say. The second one, find the second one. Don't forget them by the time we get to the 7. Onesimus. In Arabic, Onesimus. It's hard name, but he comes. You know that he was the slave that was mentioned in the book of Philemon. He was the one that Philemon didn't want to accept. He made a problem. Probably he took some things. And so St. Paul had to write the special letter to Philemon to tell him, accept him. He's my son. Treat him like me. I know you don't want him. So he is the servant. He makes some mistakes, or she makes it, but is very useful servant. Very useful servant. In the beginning, we all make mistakes. In the service, I don't know, maybe you were better. For us, I remember when we started, we made many. Abuna would come say, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is what we thought." No, do it this way. So, and he always felt that he's not worthy to serve. He said, "I'm a slave. I'm doing what I know is best." I wasn't trained like St. Paul. St. Paul, he was studied, very good family. He's like he could be governor. St. Paul, Onesimus says, I was in the prison, and before that I was a slave. There's no difference, but he loved to serve with St. Paul. That's why St. Paul said, no, this one, he can do what even Philemon, we didn't hear much about what he did, but we heard of what Onesimus, what his slave did. He is working very quiet and very trustworthy. So he is, we don't know much about him. Like he is, the servant always working in the back, like you said, working in the kitchen, working in the bathroom, working to prepare this. And they said, who did this? Well, this was Unis. Very simple, and did some of the most important service. And actually, sometimes with the newer generation, forgive me, with the younger, it's harder to find Onesimus. Usually find it in the old. Because they say, no, I had a lot of positions now. Let me go in the back. I need to support this and help this. And they see what's wrong, like any mistake. They go and fix it without anyone knowing. So Onesimus is useful if I number, say, the first servant, second, you find him at the end, or her, but is carrying everyone, is supporting everyone. This servant, even though he can get in trouble, he's the servant of the people who get in trouble. So the people outside of the church, this Onesimus knows how to bring them, because he said, I'm just like them. And he told them, when they say they don't want me to serve, he said, what about me? My master didn't want to. St. Paul had to write a letter. They said, where's this letter? He shows them the letter. He said, that's you? He said, yeah, that's me. St. Paul is begging him, please let him serve. He's good. He's a good servant, I promise. And he said, if he's not good, blame me. So this is the faithful servant who is, like I said, sometimes can be rejected, but excellent servant. The third servant, Aristarchus. Yes? Aristarchus. Hard name, sorry. Yes. Okay. Okay. So his name means best master, the best. Archos is like Archon, the leader. He's a good leader. And he was a Jewish believer. He was originally from Thessalonica. He is the one, I like to say, is the one who welcomed the people in the church. He's also serving the poor, like Ikhwat and Rab, the people who are in need. So anyone who's in need, they go and help. He was, according to the list of the 70 apostles, he's one of them. So later, he became one of the, like Saint Paul. And they believe that he was a martyr also. So he actually, like I said, we don't hear much about him, but he's one of the pillars in this. And notice Saint Paul doesn't put him first either. You see what he should be. And even Saint Luke, Saint Luke, the one who wrote for us the gospel, and he wrote for us Acts, we find him at the end. It seems like he was new, he joined in the missionary journey. He joined St. Paul in Acts chapter 16. So he didn't start from the first journey. But at the same time, like you see, all of the servants are important. They're listed in different order, as St. Paul says. And this part of the epistle, St. Paul is writing himself. Before his eyes, were not good. And he had to have one of his disciples write. He dictate to him. And they even say in the old manuscripts, you see the writing, and then at the end you see big writing. Do you know, like the kids when they write very big? Because his eyes, he couldn't see, so he wrote, Paul, by my own hand. He wrote this part by himself, so they know that this is his letter. So he is writing the order of the servants, serving with him, but like I said, they're all the same for him. They're all important for him. Okay, that's number 3. The service for the greeting and the service for the poor and the needy, and he was a martyr. Number 4, one of our favorite. Easy to say, you can say his name. Mark. St. Mark, we know that he served with St. Peter, and then also he served with St. Paul. When he served with St. Peter, and before that, St. Paul, it came a time, they argued in Acts chapter 15. He said, no. Why? How come St. Paul had trouble with St. Mark? Yes. Yes, and we don't know why exactly. He left the service. So then us experience, how could he leave the service? He wants to come back. No. St. Paul could have said, no, not this one. So in that time, it was in a dangerous service. Like they were in a dangerous area. St. Mark was very young. He didn't have the experience. Maybe they said he got sick. We don't know all the details. So Barnabas said, no, let him stay. He's my nephew. I take care of him. St. Paul said, no, this is not about family. This is a dangerous area. St. Barnabas said, trust me. He said, no. You want to take him? Okay, so they split. But then afterwards, St. Paul didn't say, no, he's not good. He said, no, he's not good right now. Right now, I can't, he can't serve with me now because I know they're going to put me in prison. I can't have, if he's a young boy, he can't go to prison. What's he going to do? Remember when St. Paul was in prison and his nephew also came and he told them, they're going to kill you, they're going to do this. He wasn't with St. Paul in prison. So St. Paul says, no, now is not good for him, but later he said, bring Mark. He's useful. This one is good. And so, of course, we say St. Mark is an apostle. Later he's going to go and preach to Egypt and Libya, and he's one of the greatest of the apostles. But it gives us the vision of how to know when we are helping the newer servants, how that we guide them. And there's a time where maybe it's not right, and there's another time when it's right for us to serve with him. So this is St. Mark. He gave him a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance. Like St. Mark, thank God they gave him a second chance, or else he would have been, I can't serve. Maybe I go over here, I'll go back home. He wouldn't have come to Egypt if St. Paul didn't give him the second chance and third chance. So he said he's trustworthy. He's trustworthy for us. Okay, number 5. Before Barnabas. Yeah, Jesus called Justus. And what else do we know about him? Okay, so what do we know about Justus? Nothing. Yes, his name was Jesus, and we just have the name. We don't know anything. And this is, if you want to do the real hidden, but we know he's important because he's serving with St. Paul. St. Paul, what does he do? I said, this one I can't. You know, like when he said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand know what your right hand is doing. He must have been doing very good service, but his importance that he's in the service. Very valuable for him. And he's always in the shadows. Like when they say, give a talk, no. I was telling them a couple weeks ago, I used to have a servant, when I was serving, this was in the East Coast. He didn't give Bible study. He doesn't give Sunday school. He doesn't, sometimes he dressed as a deacon, sometimes. But he was one of the best servants in the church. And you tell me why. I said he could bring anyone to the church. So his name was Andrew. We say, Andrew, can you see so-and-so? He didn't come to church. He said, okay, I'll bring him. Next week he comes. He said, this one didn't come to the youth meeting. Okay, no problem. How? I don't know. Even Abuna could call him servant. It doesn't matter. But he could bring anyone to the church. And he was, because he loved everyone, and whenever he asked someone to come, he doesn't feel like he's his servant, he's his friend. So but he's able to bring him. If he tells them, no, this is not good, they listen to him. Like I said, he has this gift. If we have one of them, any church will be full. Any church. And he, like he said, sincere love for, and he used to do IT. He used to do a lot of things in the background. Before any church had IT, he was doing IT for that. This is like 30 years ago. So we have, okay, number 6. We're almost finished. The hardest name to say? Epaphras. Tell me about him. He comes a couple times in the 2 verses, and you'll find him also actually, just read the 7 and 8. Yeah, verses. Yes? No. Sorry. Yes, 12:13.
First, there is one of you, a bondservant of Christ, greets you, always laboring fervently for you in prayers, that you may stand perfect and complete in all the will of God. For I bear him witness that he has a great zeal for you and those who are in Laodicea and those in
Okay, so tell me about it. There's two things.
Praying.
Yes. The first one, which is foundation, like he said, this one is always praying. And he mentioned that first. He didn't say, oh, he does this and he does this, and he said, no, this one is praying. And Epaphras, like I said, he also was probably funding. He was very wealthy. He was probably helping a lot of the service. But St. Paul doesn't say, no, yes, he helped us here and helped us here. He said, no, he's praying. But the first thing. And also he probably was the one who helped to start the church of Colossae in his home. There was a time here when we didn't have nice churches like this, and even not many people. And so they had to start Bible studies and things in the home. When Abu Nabshar came, they started to buy a church. You know that story when he left the money and so eventually they bought the church that we have now in St. Mark. But before that, Abuna was saying they had to go from house to house. I remember, like my father, when he came with a group of youth from Alexandria. So they moved from Alexandria. Abuna was their priest, and then he came here, and Abuna was their priest. And he was visiting them all. They were staying in one house. And they work, some in the morning, some in the night. And they share, like, I don't know how, they had like a room of 20, like a house of 20 youth. So he came to visit them. And they took a picture, I remember. But what I want to say is that the church started in the homes before they had a church. And so this is also probably his home. He was the one, he was praying, the one who was always praying. The church starts in his home or her home. Literally. So that's the first thing he does. The second thing, he has zeal. He has zeal for the people. Which people? Yes? Laodicea and Hierapolis and Colossae. 3 cities. What means what? He cares for all the people. It's not just saying, no, these are my people. I love Oxnard. I don't know about the people in Los Angeles or the people. This is my church. No. He said he's caring for you. He's caring for them. He's caring for. This is the spirit of the church. 3rd grade, 4th grade, 7th grade, college. It's my church. Whatever servant, it doesn't matter. They're all mine, and they're all God's. So he was one who was praying for everyone and serving everyone. And he worked hard no matter how old he was, no matter how many problems there were, no matter what was the difficulty. He's always serving. So in any capacity. You know how they have any service? This Epaphras, any service. You want me to pray? Okay, I'm going to pray. You want me to work? I'm going to work. You need fine, I'll do anything. And you can depend on, like the servants like you. When there's some servant, when I give a task, I know it's going to happen. There's another servant I have to ask and call and text and meet. What did you do? Okay. The servant, when they say every solution, they give you a problem. And there's one that every problem, they give you a solution. Epaphras and Onesimus, they're, especially the ones with St. Paul, no problem. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take. 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, but it will be, we have the solution. Number 7, one of your favorite, easy to say, Luke. Why? Okay. And what? And the mess. The mess we will skip for now. He get to number 8. He's complicated. That's why he mentioned at the end. But St. Luke, tell me about St. Luke. He is physician. He is artist. He is historian. He is, anyone OCD here? Yes. Everything is perfect. That's why, very detailed oriented. And I think sometimes St. Paul, it doesn't work for St. Paul sometimes. Because St. Paul, he can go anywhere. But St. Luke, wait, well, what are we going to do next? What are we going to... One time I was studying in law school, so I used to put the time I'm going to study each subject. So I say from 8 to 9 I do this, from 9 to... The one next to me, he's showing his schedule for the studying. So the other student said, "What is this?" He said, "Every 2 minutes he tells you what he's going to do." For the whole day, like the paper. I had one paper for the whole week. He had one sheet for the day. So, and the time that I eat, and this is Saint Luke, so he could tell you. So Saint Luke, he is great in what he works, and we are, thank God, he wrote to us what happened in Acts. That's why he said, no, every day we have to see what happened, even what came before him, like not just in Acts. If he started book of Acts in chapter 16, we wouldn't know what happened from the beginning of the apostles to the time that St. Luke joined them. That's why you know how he started. We know how he started with St. Paul in chapter 16, right? Yes? From one word. We. He changed, they call it the Lucan we. So from St. Luke, when he joined, he said, they did this, and they did this, and then in chapter 16, we did this. So he from the one word, that's why he's very detail-oriented. He said, like the servant that know whether theology or history, they could say something very... If you don't catch it, you make... very, very careful in everything. That's why he said in the beginning of the gospel, having had perfect understanding of everything from the very first, I desired to write to you, O excellent Theophilus. So he said, you have perfect, who says, I have perfect understanding of everything from the very beginning. Why? Because he kept interviewing everyone, asking, what happened? What happened this? Why did this happen? He went to go and ask until he come with the conclusion. Like sometimes we hear something and then we panic, and what we heard may be not true. This person, no. He has to ask 3 people. He has to double check. Before I go to Abuna, or I make sure I know all of the facts. And if something doesn't work, no, we say skip it. That's why in the Gospel of Luke, it starts with the Annunciation and the birth of Christ. None of the other evangelists mention why. He said, I need to find, where is St. Mary? He said, what do you mean? We don't know. No, he said, I have to find St. Mary. Where did she go? To Galilee? Did she go to Gethsemane? Until he found her. He said, tell me. And he didn't leave her. St. Mary, who doesn't speak in the gospel only a few times. She sat with St. Luke, I don't know, at least probably an hour to get for him the first chapter. At least an hour. And what did the angel look like? And what did he say? And then what did you say? And she said, of course she remembered. And I said this. And then the angel said, so he recorded for us. Thank God we have it. We have the whole month for Kiyak. We're focusing on this one chapter. So because of the detail, like I said, they are a big blessing in the service. And there's sometimes the detail give you headache for the other people, and sometimes the detail give you all the answers, right? So this is the detailed minister. Number 8, Demas. What do we hear about him? Huh? Yeah. What did he say about him? Nothing. Why? Go to Philemon 24. Philemon 24. First, we know why he mentioned him last. Did you find did I write it wrong? Let me see. Huh? Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Can I read it?
Yes, please.
As do more Aristarchus, Demas, Luke, my fellow laborers, the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with your spirits. Amen.
Okay, so he lists him with the same, we have the same names, but he doesn't tell us anything. Demas, I think St. Paul, let me find the other verse for you, or you know where it is. Okay, go to 2 Timothy 4:10. He also mentioned him in Colossians, three times. Colossians, Timothy, and Philemon. Yes, read for us.
For Demas has forsaken me, having loved this present world, and has departed from Thessalonica, Crescenians for Galatia, Titus for Dalmatia.
Okay, no. What did he say? He left.
He departed.
Who can tell me what St. Paul is doing here? He listed all the people and he mentioned all the good things. He came to Damascus, he left them at the end, he didn't tell us anything. It's not that St. Paul's upset, St. Paul's worried. But he doesn't say anything negative. And he's trying to fix whatever the problem is, until by the end he had to say that he forsook me. Why? Because he could start his own church, he could make problems, he could do whatever. Like, it's not a small thing. It's not like here, I went to a different church. No. This is with the apostles. When he leave an apostle, it could mean that he leave the whole church. So that's why he had to announce, no, he left. He left and he's not part of the church anymore. So anyways, what I want to say is even how St. Paul deal with the problem in the secret. Do you know, like St. Macarius, when he have the problem with the monk and he sat on he covered. That's why we say God, he covered us. So we as the servant, we try to cover. We try to cover what we can. Yes, Stephen.
2 questions.
It's fine.
You know, I asked a lot of questions.
One has to be easy.
The first question is, was Demas an apostle?
No, they're not all apostles in the same sense, but they're working with the apostle.
Okay, and the second question, Demas, was what church did he start? Did he start a church or did he not start any church?
No. He was one of the fellow workers with St. Paul. That's why he mentioned him in Colossae here.
Yeah.
And then we see another time that we read in Philemon, so that he was with Aristarchus and the rest.
No,
But-
that's why I'm asking the third question is, why did St. Paul let him go out to preach?
No, he didn't. He said by the time it got to 2 Timothy, which is the last of the epistles that he wrote, by the end of his life, he said he forsook me. So he left.
Demas forsook.
Yes.
Like,
He loved the world. He cared about the things of the world. That's why he said, do not love like the things of the world, or the lusts of it, for all these things will pass away. So he said, no, I don't. I have another way.
okay.
Similar to Simon Magus, the same. When he said, give us some money. I want to be an apostle like you. St. Paul said, what is this? You don't have, he said, no, I give you. He said, no, or it's like, I want to do some miracles. Can you help me do some miracles? So I get some business. So he said, no, this is not this is not the way. So the same thing, Damas had some ideas, so he went away. But he started good. He started good in the service. But yes. And if you look, like I said, St. Paul doesn't waste time going in the stories. He focused, he said, I have to serve. I do my service. But when there's a problem, I don't ignore the problem, but I don't do like social media for the problem. I don't make advertising. I don't do commercial. For no, it's just this is but if I'm like Epaphras, I will pray, I will support, I will be in the background. But this was that's why I like. You see here that Saint Paul. If we like Saint Paul, we will serve. We don't know all the people who served with Saint Peter, for example. We know Saint Mark served with Saint Peter, and we know some others. But Saint Paul was able to always have big groups like you in any city, and he get them to work actively, and he know the gifts of each one, and you say, you do this, you do this, you do this. And then come, we see how can we do it better. And it was like, I wish any one of us had just like a percentage of St. Paul. And then he go to a different city. There's nothing in the city. Okay, let's go. We start. We're going to do this and this and this. And then we see how God work in us. It was, like I said, we all wish we could be small percentage of St. Paul. So when we have the feast of St. John Chrysostom, the feast is coming next week. So St. John Chrysostom said, when it's this week, he said, I used to read in all the epistles of St. Paul, 14 epistles. I read them once and twice and 3 times. He said 4 times. It could be in the week that he finished. I said, if we read one epistle too, we feel like I'm a great. And he, to the point where he memorized the Pauline epistles. You know the story when he was stuck, he was reading in the book of Romans, and he got, he didn't understand the part. So he had a big appointment with the governor. So he told his disciple, when the governor comes, I'm in my room, I'm reading. So he said, okay. He was reading, and then after a while he said that the time passed. So he called the disciple. He said, he didn't come? He's supposed to come. He said, no, he came. He said, how come you didn't bring him? He said, I did. He said, I didn't see. He said, yes, you were with someone more important. He said, what do you mean? Nobody came. He said, no, you were with a very important person. So he took him into the church, and he said, who did you see? So he pointed, they had a big icon of St. Paul. He said, what was he doing? So he said, you were reading the Bible? He was reading in the book of Romans, and he got stuck in Romans, because Romans is the hardest book in the Bible. So he was reading and praying and reading and praying. So he said, you were reading the book, and he was behind you, whispering in your ear, telling you what it means. So he said, okay. They made an icon for it. Because he loved St. Paul so much. Like I said, he could spend the whole week with St. Paul, keep reading St. Paul. And he's the only father that we know who commented on all of the Pauline epistles, every verse. And he used to do it, not like us, I need the phone, or we have the Bible, or we use the screen, from memory. He would say first verse, and he comment. Second verse, from the memory, comment. That's St. John Chrysostom. Even there's no piece of paper, as far as we know. But he was reading, and he would write his commentary. But anyways, so we want to spend the time, like I said, with St. Paul, and in this week we say, okay, how can I be, if I'm one of those workers, help me how to be like Aristarchus, or help me how to be like St. Luke, more detailed, or help me how to be like Onesimus, praying, or help me how to be like Luke. Don't let me be like the mess. We forget him. He's not on the list. We be like the others. Because sometimes you want to leave the service. That's the mess. No. This is not an option. Always the servant is serving, but in different way. Like St. Mark, we know he left, but he didn't leave the service. It was temporary. He went to go see what the problem was, and then he came back and served in this city. St. Peter for a while, St. Paul for a while, and then he came with us. By the time he reached, he was maybe 20, young, very young. They say he passed in 68 AD. So if he was 12 in 33, who can do the math? He's 47? Yeah, 47. That's just like the number of the president. We were talking about the 47 trees that. Anyways, after we will talk about the fallen. So he was, when he was a martyr, as a patriarch, 47. Roughly. Because he was like a teenager when he was with Christ. He was under 13, we know that. Because it described him as a boy when he ran out and Christ was in his house. We know he was little Mark, and then later he became the great apostle. Any questions? Oh, you had one question, was that?
I have a lot of questions.
No. We have a long drive. Any other question? If you remember one, we can do one, and then we have
How much is one?
one question.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes.
Or no?
Whatever you have. Whatever.
Okay, so the first question I asked, and I asked Daniels this too right now, you brought up the idea of the deacon that's holding behind the
Yes.
priest.
Yes.
When Abuna goes to visit the hospital
Yes.
or whatever, the deacon has to hold the candle and be there. Is that also considered protecting or?
Yes, it's a different. He has a different role, but he has the same. So when Abuna especially is going outside of the church, that deacon is much more important. He's like an angel. Sometimes we go by ourselves, so God sent an angel to prepare the way, because sometimes the people don't know where he's going. He's not supposed to talk. We're supposed to have hymns. We're supposed to make sure there's water ready. We're to make sure that the person who's sick is awake. So there's a lot of things that deacon can help with before we get, and we have to do the prayers for communion. We have to make sure there's a table. Like, there's a lot of small things. If he's giving communion to 2 or 3 people and they want to feed Abuna, he says, no, Abuna has to go. We have to, and if he can drive also as well, because like I said, it's the holies are for the holy. So he has a lot of work to do with this angel, this minister. And there's a lot of miracles because it's the body and blood of Christ. It's not just anything going out. The most valuable that we have. So, anything else? So for the testing for the servants, so now we finished the certification. Thank God. We finished the certification. But what we do now, we do servants preparation. So servants preparation, we start for all the new servants, like high school, the ones going to college that are new. But we still have 2 different type of people. We have some people that came from Egypt, new, and they weren't here for the first test. And we have other people that are serving, whether it's in Arabic youth meeting or other things that are not in the Sunday school. So we started, or some people that moved from other dioceses, like say they were certified in Texas and they come. So they said, we are servants, we can't start 2-3 years. Or some people who are coming here for graduate school for 3 years. Like I remember when we were in Boston, the same thing. I was with Abuna Daniel. He wasn't a priest yet. He was in seminary, and he was there for 3 years. So they said servant prep. He said, by the time I finish servant prep, I'm going to be gone. And I told them, I joked with Abuna, I said, he's going to be a priest. Like, I know. I told them, by the way, he's going to be a priest. They said, okay, he doesn't have to do servant prep. So instead, for us to do this, we will do special system for those servants, and it will have an Arabic option, but it's not ready yet. So we're working on it because they are still finishing. So the servant prep now should be functioning. It's on Canvas. They have a system online, and they have the test inside. So once they go through the servant's prep, it takes about 2 years, 1 year, 2 years. They will finish. So you don't have to do certification. Everything is there. Thank God. So it will be easier for the new servant. But for the existing servants, like I said, from Egypt, that one is almost ready, and it's going to take a little bit of work to make sure, how do you test them? What does it look like? How is it fair? So that's what we're working on now. So it's soon. You pray for us. We finish this. Yes.
So I understood right, you mean that
No. Those are for the new servants. They're, say, in high school, we want them to serve in 2 years. So the servants preparation class, which I hope you have, or still not, you have a yeah, no.
So what we're trying to understand the difference between the servant cert and the servant prep.
Okay, so for servant certification, you don't have to do anything anymore for a little bit. After a while, we will surprise you with continuing education, but no. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
We should have had that servant preparation.
Yes.
For them to have
Exactly. So,
that point.
exactly, yeah. So say for me 20 years ago, they had servants preparation, more than 20 years ago. So I studied and I finished whatever it was, and then I started serving. Actually, they didn't have servants prep. They made us serve right away. So then we said, okay, because we all took different servants preparation and some didn't, and we said we'll make certification for those servants, for the advanced, you, all of you. But someone who's new, that just starting, they want to serve in 2 years, 3 years, that's why we start servant preparation. So it's similar, but it's different program. Yes. But now we finish servant certification. So next year, I will say certification. They will tell me, what are you talking about? I said, okay, yeah, that was an old system that we did a long time ago, and it finished.
So this is a question. Some of the servants have been serving.
So they're not supposed to, no. They're not supposed to. Once we finish that special program, we'll see if it will work, if it will not work. Because the other servants say, how come you let them? It's not fair if they were here. So we are going to have that.
And I have a servant here, she finished already all the program, all the modules, but when they recorded, she was supposed to take the certificate when we had that, at that time when you were doing this
Ah.
bridge, long time ago. And but when you released the final,
It wasn't there.
part of the modules, like 3 modules, they're not recorded.
They're not. So even if no, just send to them, and they did. Ah, no, but
Go take it again. And she already finished it.
I already finished, and then my friend was there. She heard my name.
then you okay. So you passed. Okay. No, then send to me, and I will talk to them. We fix it. No problem. Someone had a question here. You stopped the question. No, not you. For this. No, we have a long discussion in the car. I have 2 hours. Whatever you want to add, whatever you want, we can talk to in there. No, I'm not driving. Thank God. Thank God I'm not driving. Yes?
Can you return back to the main verse that we read it and just summarize it for us, just in few sentences?
For each name?
No, just the message for the day.
Oh, the message for the day. Yeah, the message for the day is to see that how, if I want to serve with St. Paul and have the good spirit, so how do I take and identify myself in the gospel? How do I see the importance of prayer, the importance of detail, the importance of being hidden service, the importance of being the advanced service, like having forward vision. So all of the servants, like I said, if I want to serve with St. Peter and Paul, how can I be that type of the malleable servant that is laboring hard, and in any place I can do any service. So for example, if I tell you, oh, we're going to start a church in a different country. You ready? Come. We need you for a few months. Preach in this city. This country. So that was the value, and so I should be preparing myself so that I can serve like that in any capacity, any service. Yes, this was. Yeah, and this is why this Pauline epistle is chosen for this Sunday, because they want to give a picture of the servants of love, like the servants of love, all working together. So when you get to love one another, it's very easy. The same if you saw in the Catholic epistle, was also very. But next time, maybe we can do the Catholic next year. God give us time. We can talk about the Catholic epistle. One Sunday, I remember it was in COVID. I did this in the Sunday, but it's hard to the Sunday gospel. Nobody focused. They see the names and they get confused. So it's better in the servant meeting, I said, than we do it in the Sunday sermon. Thank you. Okay, we can pray. Amin alleluia doxabatrinke. Mimerestos pennotim Evorunt tiherini moinante kerini seminante kerini kenenopenana vorjethok tetigomne monamis monavimashain. Mean make us worthy to pray thankfully, Our Father who art in heaven. Now may the love of God, the Father, the grace of His own begotten Son, God and Savior Jesus Christ, communion and gift of the Holy Spirit, be with you those who wish to go in peace. Peace of the Lord be with you. Oh, sure, yes. Still walking.
Should I call you? Don't call it wrong.
Carlos, come here. No. You have to take off your shoes. Come here.
Yes, but I never seen the uniform. Compared to the original prices, I mean, I'm gonna tell everyone, everyone's gonna ask us for college or the during high school.
نصور مع طنط ماري. انت زي ماما يعني. انت زي ماما يعني. بقيت زي ماما يعني. انا حاجه انا تراب.
Why do you ask the permission? It's an open church. It's open invitation for everyone. That's how we do it.
There's get nation, bro.
It's about 2, 2.5. I go to CSU Northridge right now, and then I drive. I live over there in the apartment. I have an apartment over there. And then I go to St. Mary's Anthony.
How's the winter, Daniel? How's the winter, David?
سؤال. المايكس والايباد حبيبي لسه مفتوحين.